Hello there, YouTube. How in the heck are you? Right before us here is Mount Solo. I used to live on the south side, I guess, because I'm not technically north and west, I don't believe, at this point. But anyway, because Mount St. Helens is east of us, that behind us. I was on top of that mountain right there when Mount St. Helens blew off at 8:32 in the morning on Sunday, May 18th, 1980. Well, them trees have grown a whole bunch since then. So actually they've grown enough that the mountain's actually looking higher than what it was. And you can see there's a Walmart's there. There was nothing there before. I think they're just like houses somewhat close to the road and woods. And then behind Walmart's was a school bus garage. That's the only thing that was out here, though. But you can see there's this little frontage road right up here is blocked off. Used to be able to ride out there. Here, I'll pull over here for a second. But I was right up at the top of that thing right there. And how you got there was right down this road right there. You went way down, and then you zigzagged and worked your way across back to the end. And before, there was a very distinct, it was just dirt. These walls that went up the side here. Can't hardly even tell now. But on this side is where we did most of our riding. It was more like it was kind of like a trials riding. None of this was here. This was just all dirt. It was a huge dirt playfield. Then they built this business. I mean, all the way from the mountain, all the way to the edge of this road. And there's just great big, just natural boulders and, you know, rock piles and stuff that we used to pretend like we were trials bike riders and manipulate through them. It's a crazy hill over there. I opened my kneecap on that thing. Can't even tell where the hill climb is now. Went right up the side of that thing. Got some old black and white pictures. Maybe I can conjure those things up. But yeah, I used to ride all out there. I had a XL 250S that doing a wheelie down this little frontage road going out. I don't even remember what that thing is over there. Probably not what it was anyway, but riding out there, I wheelied out, goofing off, and took the tail light off, and of course when the bike hit, it tumbled. This is a little back road that we would take, and there'd never be any cops back here, but we could come off of Columbia Heights, right where it was, and I showed you his house in the previous video. Come down Columbia Heights and hit the tracks that run along the base of the mountain there, and right up here is the train crossing. So we'd ride the tracks, walk the bikes across, because this Ocean Beach is kind of a busy street, but we'd ride the bikes across and get out of sight, jump on them, and go hauling butt down through here. Wow, has this really become like a depressed area out here? Crazy. How does a place that it seemed, you know, like, well, not well-to-do, but, you know, middle class anyway, how does it become the slums like that? But these are railroad tracks right here. These railroad tracks run behind all these businesses and ultimately end up out there at West Side Highway. And Warehousers quit using them tracks, so they're basically just sitting there unused now. I'm sure something goes through there every once in a while. But Kelly and I, there's what was the name of the grocery store? But when the Longview Motorsports, prior to it becoming Pro Caliber, we used to hit this grocery store up here. I was just thinking, this Fred Meyer. I remember the first Christmas we were here, never heard of a Fred Meyer's before. And man, did that place have a lot of stuff. But I have just the fondest memories, because we went to the grocery store, the whole family went. You know, I was the oldest, and when we first got here, you know, it was literally right before me getting a light. You know, I was still basically homebody. The family went somewhere, you went with them. I remember going to that Fred Meyer's. That was like our main place to go. And other than the, I think it was called the Triangle Mall up here, that was the biggest place you went. I'd hate to tell you how many pictures I have taken out and around this lake. And when we worked at the Longview store, Kelly and I would, because it just took like 2 or 3 minutes, would come out here and have lunch out here every single day. We'd sit at different, there's R.A. Long High School. That is the oldest. And one of the front part of that building is the original building. It's built the turn of last century. But yeah, we'd park in different places and go out. On the hot days, we'd hide out under trees. On the cold days, we'd sit out in the open so Kelly could bask in the sun, keep her warm. She's always a cold one. And when it was raining, we just sit in the car, which was fine too. You're just still like out here in nature. But if you look in Longview, look at a map of Longview, you can't miss Lake Sacagawea. It's beautiful. Big, huge turnout for the 4th of July each year here. See the old wooden beams and everything on there. The last wedding I shot and deemed would be my last, and it was. People still try to get me to do weddings and stuff, and I just, nope, not gonna do it. But the last wedding I did was right here at this church. I take you guys around the Monticello. It was like the first, yuppie place for the rich and famous to hang out in the early days of Longview. That was the groom's quarters right there. The old church. It's really cool inside because it's really old. Bump. Looks like they cut the bump out. So I'm running a little long here, longer than I thought I would, but I should have enough time to get you around the Monticello Circle up here. It's the main post office, and the Monticello Inn is kind of cool. We'll just do a roundabout around it. And these clouds are looking more threatening. I need to, once I'm done here, I need to change gloves and just go freeway bound, I guess, and head home. Oh, I wish I could show you something. You know the old weight sensors for triggering traffic lights? There's one sitting right there. And it has there's like a plaque or something on it that it's like in the 20s or something. Why they haven't dug that thing up, I have no idea. But I get on the inner lane here so I can loop around and not get caught up in traffic. But that's the back side of the Monticello there. This building's new. In fact, I signed for our house we're living in right now, right there. There's the post office, and that's an old son of a gun right there. I forget what the date of that is. But one of the other places Kelly and I would eat lunch is right here in the park. And for a little small town, you run into kind of crazy people like you do in a big city. And here's the Longview Public Library, also quite old. And I'll drive you in front of the Monticello. Seems like almost every wedding I do ends up, the reception is here at the Monticello. That old building's got some history right there. So from here, I'm gonna loop out. Told you I was gonna do a roundabout. One more time around. But from here, I'm gonna bail. I'm gonna scoot down Washington Way here and head for the highways and the byways. So I appreciate you guys doing the little memory lane, which wasn't a huge thing, but I appreciate you guys doing it nonetheless. What the hell? Let's take you past my high school. Let's finish her off by going in front of my high school I graduated from. Well, you got a green light. You can go. Sometimes people aren't sure if they can go or not. It kind of weirds them out or something. And instead of going through town, what I'll do is rip across the hill, go back past my mom's house, and head home that way. But that's part of Lower Columbia College. I did some studying there. This is still part of the college. And right in there is Mark Morris High School. The shop class that I've mentioned several times, I'm sure it's not still there now, was in one of that little small building. Wow, it's still sitting there with the original poles and everything. Wow, that hasn't changed a bit. They've kind of dressed up the facade and stuff with that thing. Come on, guy. Right here, this building on the end, they've refaced it, but my dad was going to buy that and turn that into the Suzuki shop for him. And oh, there's the railroad tracks. This is where we come down, as this road hit the tracks and head out towards Mount Solo. Because we could also kind of sneak down through here as well and not get popped. Cool, huh? This is a little road I took the CB 1100. What year was that? A 2013 model? Yeah. That's where I went up to the hilltop houses there. But anyway, this is a little road I took that on. In fact, I went up. There's a part of that video I cut out. I went up and seen my mom for a few moments. I had to drop off something or pick up something. I don't remember what it was. But we'd come down. We'd come out by Cascade High School, which I showed you in the first video. Come down that little side road. In fact, that side road is the one I would take when I ride my bicycle, because it would cut this off. It was like a shortcut. And it pops out here at the base of the bottom entrance of Cascade. You can't get up to the top entrance from the bottom. There's only a staircase that links you, but it has its own parking lot down there. And back in those days, this stop sign I'm about to stop at was not here either. The only stop sign was for coming out from Cascade. But that's that road. We'd come down, scoot around there. But the only stop sign was where this dark green Honda's coming out. You go winding up that hill, and that's where Cascade is. Of course, the trees are tall enough you can't even see the building anymore. The one thing that always amazes me, especially when you come back to a place you don't frequent very often, is how big all the trees got. The trees get immensely huge. It's crazy. But I'm looking for a watch. So you can't see it anymore. I think at one, yeah, I know at one point you could see it. But my mom's house is up on the second house that she moved from last year, just up on the hill here. And now these trees have grown up to a point you can't see the houses up there anymore. But it's from her house you could see over. You can still see over the trees, but it won't be long and you won't be able to see downtown anymore. The trees are growing at that rate. And here I just made a huge loop. This is the road just down from my mom's house that she moved out of. Other than being a little doomy and gloomy weather looking wise, I had a nice ride. My hands are freezing. It is 60 degrees according to my little temp gauge. And that's pretty much what it was when I left. So the cold has sunk into my little phalanges. But oddly enough, when I get going down the freeway, it like rolls up some engine heat. I don't know how it does it, but my hands actually warm up because I think the wind coming past the windshield's blowing fast enough that it takes more wind off my hands. That's just a theory anyway. Whoa. Just checking out that car. About drove off in the other lane. So here I'm coming back down. I mean, I'm literally backtracking now at this point where I took you up the hill. About to go right past Sam's house again. We'll do that and then I'll officially sign off. See how high it is up here? You got a long ways down to the I-5 that rolls down through there. You're up here a whole lot higher than you think. Hell, I don't think they even got snow up here this past winter. It's one of the craziest, warmest, shortest winters ever. But our summer hasn't fully kicked, GTO hasn't fully kicked in yet either, so. Anyway, that's Sam's house right there, the light blue with the dark blue shop. Wow, I can't believe it. I mean, that house looks like it's been sitting there for 10 years. Crazy. Man, how does it get in a disrepair look like that so quick? It's kind of shocking how you need to upkeep your house. It's like tuning up your car or something. It's something you have to do. So anyway, I do appreciate you guys coming along. Sorry it's not a sunny weather, all this green out here. This green would be popping like crazy if it was nice and sunny. But she is not. It definitely has a threatening look to it. Although the GoPro has a way of, well, all auto adjusting cameras have a way of brightening that up. And if you notice, there's no exposure switching. That's because the Hero 4 Black is sitting in my camera bag, and that's where she's going to stay until we get this thing sorted out. I'm supposed to send a detailed email to our rep so he can send some head honcho at GoPro and have some links to videos and stuff. And I've got tons of footage I didn't use. If they need more, I can mail stuff to them. You know, whatever they want to see. But I've done tons of searching on people with, what the hell was that? With Hero 4s. You hear that crazy sound? And nobody mentions it. Nobody complains about it. And in their videos, it's not happening to them. And how it is that I've got 2 in a row. It's not like these things are exposed to any kind of moisture in my camera or in my camera bag. I mean, I am doing nothing to these 4s to hurt them. And you got to remember where the 4's at, the 3 Plus is at, plus my other 3 and my 2 and everything else. They all work fine. Never had an issue. So I had details in this. I'll tell you guys this right quick. And then I gotta go because this is running long. It took 23 hours worth of recording time before the silver started doing it. And I was saying it was about 5 hours worth of recording time before the black started doing it. Well, the black started doing it at 2.5 hours worth of recording time. Never did it once. 2.5 hours in, it started doing it. And actually, I didn't realize the first one. The first one happened when I rode the F3 home. I took that new back road, and when I stopped for gas, you know, it did its freak out thing. Well, I didn't do anything with that video. I actually rendered. I didn't upload, but I rendered the DR video on Mother's Day before I did the F3. I render these things and just put them, I just set them aside, figure out what I want to do later. But anyway, I got a weird way of doing all that too. I do a lot of things in a weird way. But anyway, I thought it was that ride on the DR through the woods is where it started. It was actually just before that. I thought I'd recorded way more than that on it, but I didn't. Well, unless it's bright sunshine with no, and that doesn't guarantee anything, but if I get into any kind of contrasting situations, that's when it freaks out. And no, it's not lights bouncing off of dashes and mirrors and whatever else. That camera is full on freaking out. Well, you guys have seen it. So anyway, I'm gonna let you go because I'm gonna go across here, pull over in a little spot, change my gloves, and hit the freeway. As you can see, the sign says I-5, just hurry away. So for how many goodbyes I said this time, I am going to let you go. I do appreciate you guys watching. I muchly appreciate it. And hope you guys have a wonderful holiday weekend for you guys here in the States. It's a Memorial Day weekend for us here stateside. And Kelly will be getting off here in a few minutes, and my holiday weekend will be starting. Oh, and I won't make this anything long here at all because I've already said how many goodbyes now. But right here is where I pulled over on the iron, and the day I drove it home and the shocks were squeaking, or the one shock was squeaking. It was a simple thing that was causing it, but just so you guys know that weird sound that you hear when I idle, that's not how it sounds. This is how it sounds. You know how it makes this weird, kind of like there's an air leak? This weird kind of I don't know how to explain it. But when I come to a stop and it's idling, it makes that weird sound. That's only coming through the camera. I don't hear that. And then when I play these videos back, I'm like, what the hell is that? Sounds like a damn exhaust leak or something. Whoop. I got these sunglasses on too, so it's probably a whole lot darker looking. Ooh, that exhaust heated that bag up, which in turn heated my gloves up. That feels real nice. So, I will chit chat with you guys later. I'm gonna hit the loop back here, hit I-5 North and head home. So we'll talk to you later now. Bye-bye now.